everyone, and welcome back to Shuffle Talk. I'm here in New York City with our first ever talk, and our first guest today is none other than Boss Boy. Boss Boy, thank you for joining us here. And I want to ask you, first thing that probably everybody, I don't know how many people have asked you this, but why Lost Boy?
So basically, the word Lost Boy comes from philosophical sense of like me having to feeling alone in the world because of my mental illness and not really relating to a lot of people. So I think when you feel alone in the world, and you feel lost basically.
And the origin came, you made this name just for yourself.
Yeah, it was not gonna be like my shuffle name. Like I used to call myself like Rob Moonchild, like Rob for like the sun guy.
Was that your first shuffle name?
No, it was just like some random like edgy Instagram name. Boss Boy was just like an emo like name. But once I got into like the shuffle community, I kind of had to.
Yeah, because like when I first heard of you and like other people with their names, I didn't know if that name was just something that was given to you or something that you made for yourself.
Yeah.
Because there was other people out there that had the boy name with it.
Yeah.
In case it went up. I want to get into that right away. I don't want to waste time. What happened between you and your former partner?
So basically, I was a shuffler for 9 years, but I didn't really find out in the shuffle community until like been going on like 5 years now. And like once we started like broadcasting our meetups on social media, you would have randoms, and then you would have some like people that would stay. One of those people was Julian. And the thing about Julian is like he showed kindness, like a lot of kindness. But he's also, obnoxious in a cringy way. I always overlooked that because I saw the kid respect me for what I did, and I can tell he also looked up to me a lot. And I know a lot of other people, would go to me and tell me like, they're not really fond of the kid, but like I know how it feels to feel alone, lost, like, you know what I mean? So
did he learn from you? Like, is he the student trying to come back to the teacher? And like, was it something like that?
I would say in confidence that he is a two-pole husband.
Okay.
So
he looked up to you and two.
Yeah, he looked up to me. He looked up to two-pole. He looked up to like Ness in general. But I know there's like this connection between like me and him, in which I would see him study me a lot. I didn't really care. Like flatter. Like imitation is the best flattery, right?
Yeah, so, and I think that's what it is with certain people in the community that have this history. There's always like a connection, not the same exact way. Somebody looked up to someone, or they resemble someone's style, or they started together, or something like that.
Everybody gets an idea of what something should be, right? Inspiration.
Yeah.
And I would say like Alex is inspiration. So back to it. Years go by. And he's getting good. He's getting real good.
You said 9 years. So how many years have you been shuffling?
I've been shuffling.
9 years.
So yeah, like we started getting good over the years, and I guess all the things must come to an end. So I left Nest, and then after that I didn't really do as much. And
that's when it happened when you were an outcast.
I think the change happened last Eazu. That's when I started to notice a change, because from what I've heard, Edith made Julian leader, and
that's it. Well, anyone besides you, like everybody else, feel the same?
From what I've heard, there's been like some problems, like the dance parade in New York City. When they got put onto that, I guess Julian was being very difficult. You know what I mean? And that put off a lot of the members. I haven't heard that, and like that hurt me, because like that's not the Julian I used to know. You know what I mean? So once I left Ness, and then like last season, that's when I really saw a change in him. I'm guessing probably something personal, just projecting it onto other people. But once he had made him like leader, I think it really went into his head. And this guy, also named Jalen, he put a post up, like troll post of the year, saying he was like the king shuffler, and on Twitter at the time. And for whatever reason, Julian, I think he thought it was me. He was just like, "Oh, no one calls you the king of New York over here. No one calls you that, blah blah." It's just completely coming after me. The kid who looked up to me, the kid that was always nice to me. You know what I mean?
This kind of reminds me of how like Floyd Mayweather was, doing it up, and then Adrian Broner tries to call him out.
Yeah.
After you just being like, yo, after we taught you this, and we processed here and there. I get it. Maybe he wanted to, battle you. Would a battle just settle this, or is it gone too far?
I would like a battle, but it's gotten to the point where it's gotten past words, and I'm not really the violent type. But when it gets to a certain point, I have to stand up for myself.
Well, hopefully, he could battle you. Maybe things could be a little bit different.
Yeah.
Let's move on. How did it feel to go to Spain the first time? What learning experiences did you get from it? And tell me about also the tournament that didn't happen.
I would not imagine this in my lifetime, to be honest, because in my head, I'm not a normal person, so I have problems doing normal things. And it was a struggle even trying to go there. I had to do a GoFundMe and shit. Shout out to everybody who donated so I can go. So yeah, when I was able to go, I felt like all my hard work, all my commitment, my passion was just like kind of just paid off a little bit. You know what I mean? I felt like I was finally getting acknowledged for my worth as not only a dancer, but specifically a shuffler. Yeah.
And now you were gonna go back to battle this time around.
Yeah.
But Corona happened.
Yeah. It was.
I was gonna try to surprise you. I had bought the ticket myself as well, and I wanted to surprise you. Boombox. I just wanted to.
That would have been crazy.
I just wanted to be in there with you guys.
That would have been
I
great.
feel like I look up to people that battle.
Yeah.
Just like you and Boombox, and I want to I feel like people need to battle more, and I feel like there needs to be a battle culture out there.
Well, that's the thing. Like shuffling at its birth, right? It's always been the motto: dance to express, not to impress. But like all things, when you're good at something, you want to test that skill to the limit. So you want the glory. And for somebody who's never really felt good about a lot of things in his life, I look at this as a main goal of mine, and I focus on it. And, sometimes I obsess about it, and that can be either a good or bad thing. But at the end of the day, it's giving me purpose. And purpose is important.
So what does it take for battle culture to be more here in the city right now? What would it take for people to be accepting of this type of shuffling, way,
People would have to take shuffling a lot more serious, not look at it as like some dance, you go to festivals and impress your friends, but rather as an actual dance style that can be respected like all other dance styles, but it isn't because it's commercialized and it's looked at as just like some dance you do when you go to a certain event.
I think
which is false.
I think in meetups, it should be normalized. Battle should be normalized. I think now that the community is a bit different in New York, maybe the battle culture could come, and people can have a great time. So because I know you want to defend that title that you got in 2018. But we haven't had a tournament here since, and hopefully we can make one this year. And I feel that going out west is a whole other story.
Going out west is something I definitely want to do before I retire. I've heard a lot of negative things about the west side. You don't gotta like somebody to respect them, and that's the thing I had for.
All right, Jalen. How do you see the shuffle community at its current state?
I think it's in a very, very weird place. You're seeing these influences that came out of nowhere, right? Let's date back to like 2 or 3 years ago, maybe circa. You know, you had E. Cruz, you had Sierra, you had, J. David. You know, you had all these influencers come out the woodworks, right, and really showcase shapes. That's really what took over what the word shuffling meant, which was a big disinformation, misconception of the actual dance. And right now, today, you're seeing a lot of influencers who, primarily, commercialize to the point where it's not about passion anymore. It's just about getting that bag, And at the end of the day, everybody's gotta eat, right? Important. I gotta eat, you gotta eat. But, sometimes you really do make your passion most of your job. You can get lost in the sauce like that. It's important to really reflect on what you want to save at the end of the day. Do you want to take this more as, a more serious route for, income, or do you want to hold this true to your heart and passion? No disrespect to you.
That's the key question. That's the question. That was the $1 million question right there. And the shovel god spoke, folks.
Said, nah, we don't want that answer. That was a fucking ghost fake, bro. Freaky.
So is there no in between? Can the person make money and not make money? Okay, can the person have a profitable shuffling company and a non-profitable shuffling company? Can it be in the middle?
There is a middleman. I believe there is a balance, right? I'm doing it. Dave Ruby's doing it. You see a lot of people ever since Van Seco putting it on the map and shit. You saw a lot of people be like, well, I can do this too, right? Problem with that is that you're seeing a whole lot of people and not enough quality. So it's quantity over quality. That's the problem with shuffle teaching right now.
So is there a place where we can find the more, I guess you could say, better quality? Is there a place now that people can find a better quality shuffling videos as opposed to the watered down thing that we see today?
Listen, man.
Is there a place like that now? Where we can all just put better content in this one place? The worst, right? Don't we talk shit about everyone in there?
Well, that's the thing though, if you know how to market yourself,
You'll be loved there.
Yeah, of course.
Even if it's toxic.
And fuck, it's toxic. Holy shit, it's toxic.
You see, I don't get into the Twitter world. I don't know about this, so tell me more.
I got fucking crucified. I can't.
Why? Why did you get crucified?
I can't make a goddamn opinion without someone jumping down my goddamn neck, putting in their irrelevant 2 cents because for some reason they go to the dream state once and think they have enough reason to have a relevant opinion.
This is weird. I don't understand that. I don't understand how that happened. How do you see the shuffle community at its current state?
I think it's in a very, very weird place. You're seeing these influences that came out of nowhere, right? Let's date back to 2 or 3 years ago, maybe circa. You had E. Cruz, you had Sierra, you had J. David. You had all these influencers come out the woodworks, right, and really showcase shapes. Because that's really what took over what the word shuffling meant, which was a big disinformation, misconception of the actual dance. And right now, today, you're seeing a lot of influencers who, primarily, commercialize to the point where it's not about passion anymore. It's just about getting that bag, And at the end of the day, everybody's gotta eat, right? Important. I gotta eat, you gotta eat. But you know, sometimes when you really do make like your passion almost your job, you know, you can get lost in the sauce like that. You know, it's important to really reflect on what you want to save at the end of the day. Do you want to take this more as, you know, more serious route for, you know, income, or do you want to hold this true to your heart and passion? Now, this
That's the key question. That's the question.
We start now? Are you good?
Yeah,
I was somewhat recording because at one point it seemed like it's getting heated. I'm like, ooh, I should record this.
No, I'm trying to see what was that right now.
You were mentioning something about the influencers and Instagram and dating.
Can we just get back to the middleman?
Yeah, the middleman.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. All right. So, is there a way to be happy with shuffling? Is there a person can they be happy with the people that make money and the people that don't make money? Can everybody live in peace?
Of course, there is a middleman, there is a balance. You know, like for instance, like I'm offering classes, but I'm not overcharging. And in the shuffle game, you're seeing people doing that right now, and it's just greed, you know? People like me, people like Dave Ruby, you know, we've been here a while, and we offer good quality stuff because one, we've been here long enough, we know what we're talking about, and we genuinely have a passion for the dance. We also have to eat at the end of the day, you know what I mean? We're just not gonna overcharge it.
And I think you guys should start something like that here very soon. Because New York City right now, the community here is still, it's I don't know what to say about it, to be honest. I don't know, it's nice to see a new generation. That's the best part about it, because that brought in a lot of hope, you know, to the community. But where do you see the New York City community? Do you see it getting better?
It's like,
Do you think it will get better? How about that? Let's make that question.
I think it's just gonna, honestly, I feel like it's gonna lose its authentic feel, if that makes sense. Like, if you go back to what, like EDC, mad years ago, where everybody was wearing fat pants, the people that were there are the people that actually love the music. Day to today, the people that go to festivals are because they see it on TV, social media, they want to go there because they want that experience, not because they love the music. So I mean,
Yeah.
and like all things, it became commercialized.
So when something becomes commercialized, you lose the passion, and it just doesn't feel it's not transparent anymore.
Do you think that's what's happening right now with the community too?
Yeah.
Feel like it's losing its flavor?
It's definitely
Authenticity.
Yeah, it's definitely losing. I feel like it's definitely losing its, you know, its genuine
How do you
feel.
get back that raw feel of shuffling?
I think it starts from the OGs. I think it starts from people who genuinely love this dance for what it is and have an open mind about it, you know, and are willing to give out hours of their day to teach this beautiful dance called shuffling.
You want to go back to talking about West Coast and maybe.
So let's go back to the question I asked earlier. What do you think about the West Coast?
The West Coast has lots and lots of history, right? Compared to New York City, they outnumber us by a lot. If you go on YouTube and do your history, do your homework and shit, you can see that, you know, these people have been shuffling for a while. I mean, they're not just some new person who went to a festival and looked at somebody who's shuffling and be like, oh, what's that? These kids have been doing this. You feel me?
And that's the
There's a
difference you're
lot
talking
of,
about.
there's a lot of OGs, and there's respect to be given to that. But with tradition also comes a possible ego problem. You know, and from the things that I've heard over the years and what I've experienced personally, recent in a competition, kind of solidifies that in a way. At the end of the day, you know, like, You know, like New York can take a page out of West Side's book, but they can also take a page from us when it comes to versatility. Because I think that's what really, I think that's what is New York City's trump card. You know, if you look at the NYC OGs, you know, the thing is that you can pick them apart, distinct styles. I mean, that's what really shines the most when it comes to the New York City scene. And I feel like that's something that, you know, West Side could actually acknowledge and respect, but, you know.
Yeah, it's something that a lot of people don't talk about, how distinct New York is actually compared to the West. The West, you know, for one time, they all looked the same, you know, at one point, you know, and then they diversed, and now there's more diversity. You know? Even though they still have their main style, there's a lot of diversity there. But us, we're like converting now with other styles, like Cutting Shapes was around 2014, 2015, I think. And then now with free stepping and light feet and jerking, and now crumping as of late. It's like there's a mixture that New York does a lot.
Yeah, shout out to Lefty.
Yeah. And yeah, so like, oh yeah, I also wanted to ask you about you and Lefty. You guys had a battle in time.
Yeah. I
never saw the battle, but I was around.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I did not see it. I wish I did. Tell me how that battle went.
It was definitely coming. Like, I was supposed to actually teach a class in the BNB, you know, in that show community with many of them. But that was falling on, you know, like time work schedules. So I had to tell them, like, yo, I gotta make this. Everybody's coming out to New York City, so I can miss this shit. And Lefty was pulling up, and I was like, this is my chance. You know what I mean? Because like, personally, Lefty's been my rival for a while and stuff. You know, a lot of people don't like him. You know, he's a very aggressive person, but like deep inside, he means well. He just has a very tough exterior. So it's very off-putting to most people. You know, he talks his shit. And you know, he kind of has right to. He's, you know, been here for a while. He back it up. So you know, I think it's like day 2. I think. You know, I did so much dancing day 1, right? And I see him, right? Like all hooded up, right? Like just waiting. I feel like he's just scoping me out. You know what I mean? So I peep him, right? Peep him, I'm all sweaty. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, it's about to happen, right? So I'm just playing around with my hat. You know, he looks at me, you know, touches me, points over to like big wide open space. I'm like, oh, we got to get it. You know what I mean? So we go over and stuff, bro. Like, I think, no lie, we went for like, it feels like we went for like 6 rounds. Just back to back, bro. Yeah, I've been looking forward to the battle for like a while, you know? Because like, to me, that was my chance to show Cali my self-worth and how I, you know, actually think I'm like worth something.
I do remember that night you went around and you said it to someone else, but you also said it to me. You said, we gotta represent the East Coast, man. There's a lot of people from the West here.
Exactly. A lot of people came. A lot of people came. You know what I mean?
It was
a lot of
people. I pulled it.
Not just from Cali, but, you know, like Florida, you know, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean?
There needs to be another one.
Exactly.
Like this year, hopefully.
Yeah, but, you know, we went for 6 rounds and stuff. I didn't like the guy for a while, but I always respected him, you know? And that night, when all was said and done, you know, he got me a water, I got him a Red Bull, and we've just been like homies ever since. And I just messaged him. I messaged like that day after I messaged him, I was like, you're my brother now. You feel me? Because I look at him, he's not just shuffling. You feel me? Like we can relate to that. I'm not just shuffling. We're being versatile. That's something we can both relate on, you know? So when I feel alone in this community, when I really think about it, he's someone I can feel like can relate to me in a way. I can get it.
So, like, where do you see shuffling, let's say, let's make it real short, in the next 5 years? Do you think there's going to be a big change in the next 5 years? Do you think the way you're feeling about shuffling today is going to be the same in 5 years?
I think for what it's worth, you, me, dying breed, you know? in the coming 5 years, people are probably not going to care for the roots. They're not going to care for the history, you know, and it's very possible and it will be overshadowed by what people were calling shuffling shapes, you know. So that's definitely a possibility, you know.
Yeah. I think what it takes is what we're doing right now, documenting tutorials, leaving the stamp for the next generation. And I think that's what we're starting now. Because can you imagine if all these videos that you did, I did, David has done, and then there's nothing to say, hey, you know, we were here and now we're teaching you guys as well. If there was no video of that, then you guys just left videos of just showing your art, not teaching it. And I think like it takes time. Like for me personally, I could not teach because I didn't know everything. But now I'm hearing that that's okay. You don't have to know everything, but you can still like learn as you go.
Yeah.
And I think it's just giving it a go, like how you did today and how David's been doing last week is the best thing we can do. And I think if we do that, I don't think we're going to be a dying breed. I think we'll plant the seed for the next generation. And I think that's what.
I'm just thinking realistically. I mean, like, you know, positive thinking wise, you know, us as OGs, if we want to keep like our message going, we got to plant the seeds, you know. So
Hopefully that happens. So wait, before we go, who's getting the smoke in 2021?
there's been a lot of people on my radar, bro.
I'm gonna just say, let's get 3 in there. How about that? 3.
3?
Top 3 that you need to back this year.
I think personally I would want to battle Laughs because he's my favorite. He's my favorite STS dragon, and I also heard he doesn't like me. Solus because of, you know, personal past reasons, and my son, Little Duck. You know.
Those are the top 3. Those are very saucy battles that I would love to see. And I would love to promote them if anybody's listening out there. I would love to make those possible if anybody's listening.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So, if you had to guess, right, if someone walked up to you and said, would you consider Lost Boy to be cocky or ignorant, or not ignorant, arrogant, right, or conceited, would you agree with that or not?
No. I don't think you're arrogant.
You heard it first. You heard it first. Feel me? This guy has been here, okay? I'm not cocky. The way you perceive me on social media is not how I'm perceived in real life. Wake up. Thank you.
And on that note,
I'm out. I'm out.
tune in next time. We should
Out.
And this is where I like it.